Good evening. Joe and I are delighted to be presenting the first BAFTA of the night for a vital part of movie making.
We're here to celebrate the artists who expand what's possible on screen.
What's going on, everybody? This is Afro Think Tank. Michael B. Jordan in Detroit, London. We're at the BAFTA Awards, right? And as they were presenting an award, somebody in the crowd yelled out, "Bitch, ass nigga." Okay? That was yelled out. Now, both of these gentlemen handled it with grace, obviously, right? Obviously handled it with grace like they handle most, acrimonial altercations with grace, right? Now, to me, this gives me an opportunity to remind all black folks that white folks are always just going to see black folks. And when it comes to that, even psychologically, even with mental illness laid on top of other mental illnesses, deep down inside, they're always going to just see you as a black person. Very basic, very simple as far as they're concerned. And I'll give you a few examples. We do the same thing. When you look at a white person, do you say, "Is that an Englishman? Is he from Wales? Is he Irish? Is he Scottish? Is he Polish? Is he French?" And when they start talking, maybe they're speaking French. But in our head, it triggers white person. There's no accent a white person can have that will change the way we feel about white people. It doesn't matter what accent. We're still looking at them. We see white person. We don't know the details. Because in the real world, people react off their basic instinct. Everything after that is you being in control of yourself. But your natural instinct is to react off things that you're afraid of, things that you desire. Like basic emotions are natural reactions. And certain things trigger those emotions. When you see an Asian person, most of y'all don't ask, are they Cantonese? Are they Chinese? Are they Japanese? Are they Taiwanese? You don't ask those questions. When you look at them, your eyeballs, one of the most advanced pieces of biological organic technology ever invented by God. All right. Your eyes, like I said, the most advanced piece of equipment is telling you, all right, it's processing through your brain that person is an Asian. Immediately, what do I do? Is it a threat? Is it an ally? What do I do? Right? When you look at Latinos, mainly Mexicans, do you say, is that person from El Salvador? Is that person Guatemalan? Is they Panamanian? Are they from Venezuela? Argentina? Peru? No. All you see is a Mexican. You just see the basic form of a Indian, of a South and Central American. You can care less, to be honest, you get in the details of what part of that Latin America they come from. They're Latin to you. And you will respond in kind, however you're going to respond. Most of the time it's a positive way. Right? So if we black people, we know,
Hello, brothers and sisters. How are you doing? I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching this video from. As you know, I'm your host and presenter, Genetic Stories. In today's video, I want to talk about something that most probably, maybe a lot of you might not agree with this, but I truly stand for unity. I'm a person that really stands for unity because most of the time unity wins when you get to look at all, comparatively. But now this is what's happening. I have a video by Afro Think Tank. Afro Think Tank is a black American who moved to Nigeria and is really doing good in Nigeria, and definitely everyone can see that. But one thing I like about Afro Think Tank is that he's a person that stands for the truth. Probably most of you know him, or probably most of you don't know him, but most of the time I've watched this video because I watches his video and I really like his perspective when it comes to Pan-Africanism and the togetherness and the oneness of black people across the world. In one of the recent videos that he talks about what really happened during the BAFTA Awards. BAFTA Awards is an award which was done in United Kingdom. And I think we had two these black brothers. Michael B. Jordan is famously known for his great movies, and they were presenting an award. But now what happened in the background of the video, somebody used some slurs that really wasn't sitting well with black people. That somebody is not just somebody, it was a white person. And if you watched the event, because I took my time and go and watch it, and I also heard it. So what comes out from that is that the person that said it had complications. But that's not the truth. That's pure racism. This is a grown man who said this. But brothers and sisters, what really made me like Afro Think Tank is that despite all that negativity that was pushed towards black people, he used that to foster for unity. And brothers and sisters, I want you to watch this video because it is really, really important. Because in the time when people are fighting black Americans, people are fighting black people, I think it's important for us to consider unity as black people. Because it tries to say, and I agree with him 100%, because delineation will only make us few. What if we learn about each other? What if we get to understand each other? What if we respect each other, black people across the world? Right? So that we have this unity. All that black people need is unity. But hey, this is what Afro Think Tank had to say in regards to this. I want to switch this video and then I'll be back.
We know most, especially the ones who haven't traveled, the ones who haven't been exposed to the details. When you see an Asian, all you see is an Asian. It doesn't matter what they call themselves. Doesn't matter how many names they split themselves off into. Doesn't matter what beef they have internally. You see an Asian. You see a white person. You see a white person. You don't think about any of the details of what it is to be white, what it means to be white, to be European. It doesn't matter, because to us, they're white people. So we must react accordingly. So if that's the case for us, what makes you think it's not the case for everybody else? When they see black people, you think they care if he's Jamaican, a Haitian, an African American? You think they care if you call yourself FBA, Black American, Salon, African, American African, African American, American Black, Black American, Freeman? You think any of that matters outside of your house, the house of blackness? You think any of that matters? None of that matters to them. They see black. You see, when the police, when they shoot at you, they don't say, "Oh, that's a Jamaican, let me not shoot at him." "Oh, that's an FBA. His father was an African American. His mama was from Cuba. Let me not shoot at him." That's not what they do. They look at you and they see an African. They see a black person. And they're correct. They see an African. And they're going to respond accordingly. With fright, with fear, with jealousy, with envy. Now, that guy had Tourette, so I guess we're supposed to give him a pass, right? Right? But those words was inside of him already. They wouldn't have came out if they weren't inside. They wouldn't have came out, it wasn't in his subconscious. They wouldn't have came out, he would have said something else. Now, I know people with Tourette do say just some wild stuff, but them words was inside of him already, and he said it. And these are two rich, accomplished black men from various parts of the world. And still, to stand on stage, to be that accomplished, to be that distinguished, and still within the subconscious DNA of a mentally ill white person, they still manage to squeeze out the words that makes them feel better as a human being, calling them a nigga. Because we all know it's all jealousy. It's always jealousy. Anytime a white person calls you that, it's because there's something about you that they're jealous of. There's something about you that they want and they can't have, and they're frustrated about that. So they're going to hate on you because of that. And that's just basics. So I want all you guys to take that in consideration when you're coming up with these new names, when you're trying to delineate. That's why I'm against FBA, Foundation of Black Americans, and I'm against the whole idea of delineation. I'm against delineation in any level of blackness. I'm against it because we need each other. Doesn't matter what language we speak. Doesn't matter what part of the new world the slave master dropped us off on. There's no amount of water and white lines that's going to separate me from my brothers and my sisters. The Atlantic Ocean did not separate me from my African brothers and sisters. That doesn't change my DNA. The dirt between me and somebody in Florida doesn't change the fact that we both American. So why should the water from somebody from Florida, Cuba, Trinidad, Dominican Republic change the fact that they both black, they come from the same tribes, and they're both brothers and sisters? You guys argue, you guys in the black community argue over the white lines white people gave you. The same way these drug dealers and these gangbangers are fighting over lines and cities and streets that don't belong to them. It's one thing to fight for some shit that belong to you. But we over here, we fight for stuff that don't belong to us. Doesn't matter if we built it. We can build another one. That's what makes us great. We're a nation from within the nation. Whether America comes or goes, we'll still be here. And all the greatness that we are, no matter where we are, we take it with us. That's what makes us so great. There is no piece of land that defines us as African Americans that can make us. There's no piece of land that can divide us. There's no body of water that can divide us. We are beyond that. We have traversed the entire world. This whole planet belongs to us. It's our oyster to eat, to enjoy. And so far, we let everybody else enjoy it while they define us. And then because we lost some of our identity, but that's no longer an excuse because we have it right in our faces. And when some of us are having a hard time coming to a reckoning that person in the mirror is who I am. So let this be a lesson to you. Now they're gonna get that guy a pass. They always get a pass. You notice that? They write their own pass, right? And we're gonna keep moving, and we're gonna keep taking the high road like we always do. But just keep in mind, for all you people that want to be ADOS, FBA, freemen, I want to be this, complaining about people being proud of their ethnicity, complaining about people being proud of their tribe, complaining about... People are allowed to be proud about the results of their journey, about their people. But that doesn't mean you have the right to hate on your brothers and sisters for having a different journey than you. And it doesn't mean you don't unite with your brothers and sisters, because as you can see, they all see us the same. And they all going to react to us the same. So that means we need to be the same for the sake of our families, collectively. For the sake of our safety, we need to recognize that we are, in fact, the same. And they will see us as the same. And no amount of new names is going to change that. Anyway, tell me what you guys think in the comment sections. Afro Think Tank, learn something. Tito, I'm out.
So I'm looking at this video with Michael B. Jordan and Delroy Lindo at the BAFTA Awards. And you know Michael B. and Delroy, Sinners is probably going to win Best Picture. It's going to probably win a bunch of Oscars. I'm crossing my fingers. But they're just doing great work, just dignified brothers killing it right now. And something happens while they're up there. Two words are uttered out.
For a vital part of movie making.
Yeah, bitch nigga. And it is said by a guy named John Davidson. I think he's part of the awards ceremony. I think he might be a producer or whatever. He says, but he has Tourette's. I don't know if you know Tourette's. I follow people online that have Tourette's, where they get these tics, you know, like verbal tics, where they be like, yeah. A lot of times it's profanity or whatever, or sometimes like sounds and stuff like that. And it's really a really terrible disease, you know. But I have to scratch my chin on this one, because how did he say when Delroy Lindo and Michael B. Jordan were up there? I can understand if he's like, but... So my thing is this, and I'm trying to use my logic. I'm not trying to put people down with this, but why was it specifically? It makes me rub my chin going, was he really thinking this? Is there a thought process in a person with Tourette's? They have these thoughts and that disease brings it out, but does it in sporadic moments? I don't know. I'm trying to be very logical with this. Really in the middle of, I don't have Tourette's. I don't know what it's like. I don't know if it makes you talk and make outbursts, whether you, even if you try to suppress it. I don't know, but that was crazy. And they say they should give him a pass on it. Not a pass. We need an apology. You need an apology for that. That was fucking crazy. Is that what he was really thinking? But Tourette's, makes you say it out loud in your brain? Because this is all brain cerebral shit. I'm just saying. Now, what if there was a Jewish man up there and he said some crazy Jewish? What would happen then? What if there was an Asian and he said some, you slanted? I don't know. Is this what they're really thinking? It's like when people get dementia. You know, when you'll see these old white people get dementia and their caretakers are black, but they always end up calling them and all this. They don't forget that. They forget their family. They forget memories from the past, but they always remember to say to them. Always never forget the racism. That's one thing. Dementia, for some reason, never makes them forget the racism. So I just want to know, and this is me not putting people down for Tourette's. I want to make sure I'm being very clear with this. I just thought specifically that was very, 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 very curious. Really, when the black people come up on stage, okay? I just thought that was very, very, very interesting. You guys let me know.
The guy at the BAFTA Awards, you got Delroy Lindo and Michael Jordan are up there, right? And they're presenting, and a guy with Tourette's in the audience makes outbursts, including the N-word. Now, how do you it's a white guy, by the way, not a black guy who blurted out the N-word. It was a white guy. Now, the idea that this is racist and a disease doesn't make you say racist things, that's not what the Tourette's people say. Well, what is your take on this?
I have a lot of questions. If this was the first thing on the top of this man's mouth when two black people were speaking, it does cause some concern, definitely. But he has a syndrome. He has Tourette syndrome. So it's very hard for me to pearl clutch in this situation because I don't know exactly what triggers what in the mind. But from a objective standpoint, I mean, it's terrible to hear. No one wants to be called that. No one wants to hear anyone else call that. And kudos to those two actors, some of the best in the game, for standing there and really just taking it, being true professionals. And of course, I'm sure there'll be accountability or answers in the situation because I don't know how something like this happens.
Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose? Who taught you to hate the color of your skin to such an extent that you bleach? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate? You should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God gave you?
Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! Free Sudan! Boycott diamonds and gold! We most definitely cannot forget about the people of Sudan!
Thanks for watching Afro Think Tank. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And follow me on Substack and Patreon for more content. Remember, it's Pan-Africanism or nothing.
Hello brothers and sisters, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing great from wherever you're watching me from. Again, I'm your host and presenter Genetic Stories. Most definitely, you saw what happened at the BAFTA Awards. And all I can say is that the only asset that a black person has is unity. Is a fellow black person. Because white people didn't stand with black Americans. They only produced excuse. They only tried to deflect from the truth. While black people were angered by all those events and the disrespectful event that happened, and the only excuse that they gave that the guy had Tourette syndrome. Of course, it's a Tourette syndrome, which makes a person have an outburst behavior, maybe outburst of anger. But what made him being angered? And I think it's so much important for people to have an honest discussion in regards to all these things that are happening. Because, look, there is unity in power. I mean, there is unity in numbers. And there is power in numbers. Because it is so problematic for us to, like, divide amongst ourselves right now. I know I'm not speaking for all black Americans because we don't share the same sentiments. But all I'm asking as an individual is that I think it's important for us to find ways of building bridges instead of building walls amongst ourselves, black people. What Afro Think Tank was trying to say is that we can look beyond our ethnic groups. We are all black people. That's what he's trying to say, regardless of which state, which country you come from. Because at the end of the day, when a white person sees you, all he's just seeing is just seeing a white person. I mean, a black person. Until they speak, that's when they know, they distinct that, oh, he probably comes from the United States, or probably he's been from Europe, or he's been from UK. But all in all, and all that stands is that a black person is a black person regardless of the country or the city that he is in. And so it collectively calls for unity amongst the black community, because that's all we need. And that's what the playbook doesn't want black people to have. It doesn't want black people to have unity, because that unity is what will make black people become so much successful. And you understand that white thrive in in black disunity. That's where they thrive. Ask yourself why. Are we having black people that are not supporting black people? Or are we having black people that are not supporting black businesses? Yet you'll see a white person will come out and say that we had people, we have black people that support my business. That 70% of people who support my business are black people. Why do you think that happens? Because they benefit when black people are not unifying. They benefit when all this chaos goes on. And that's what people need to understand. I'm not trying to take away the feeling and how black people feel about this. Black people have been talking about delineation. And I've said, and I will say it again, and I'm saying that I respect your opinion. I understand your feeling. I understand what you're going through, and I understand where you come from. And if delineation is what you're asking for, then that's good. But what I'm trying to say, I'm just trying to advise you, or maybe talk to you, that maybe you can give it a chance, right? You can give it a chance. You can give it a chance by trying to look that, okay, now that I've delineated from this black person, because probably he's an immigrant, probably he did that to this group of people, probably he said that about this. How can we go against all the odds and make this work as black people? Right? Because white people, they thrive so much in black disunity. Because now black people won't have collective power. Because now black people want to invest back their money in black community businesses. And that explains why our white communities are so much developed, because they have shops, because they have stores, because they have all these businesses that they have placed in the black community. Yet black people are not supporting fellow black people, or black Americans are not supporting fellow black Americans. And to you, as an immigrant in the United States, you also need to understand that a white person is not your friend. At least, not all of them are your friends. And that you should prioritize, and this is not racism, you should prioritize hearing from a black person, a person who looks like you, because at the end of the day, you are seeing somebody who at least who is like you. Maybe not historically, but at least at the moment, you are seeing somebody who is like you, somebody you can run to, and somebody might not see that these are a distinct group of people, right? So brothers and sisters, I really don't know what you think and feel about this, because I feel like at this moment, I agree with Afro Think Tank, because he's been advocating for black unity. He's been advocating for Pan-Africanism. He has been advocating for people generally, black people generally, to come together and just grow together and understand the importance of this, because it is so much imperative for us to understand these issues. So brothers and sisters, I really don't know what you think and feel about this, because at the end of the day, we need to, talk about this. So please let me know what you think about this video, right? Until then, peace, love, and harmony. Salute.